You know what? Every time I think something's not working here,
it is,
and we just need to get over it, and I need to stop whining and complaining. So it's either going to work or it's not.
Okay.
You know?
Good philosophy.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. It's just like a tractor pull, just without all the mud and the tractors. Here are your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hey, I'm Darin.
I'm Mike.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome. This is episode 95.
1995.
What happened to you two in 1995, Mike?
1995 was when Oasis released What's the Story Morning Glory, containing hits like Wonderwall, Champagne Supernova, Roll With It, Don't Look Back in Anger.
I love
Oasis,
that song.
Oasis were also great friends with U2.
I used to work with a woman who thought the song was Champagne Tipping Over in the Sky.
What the hell is that?
And I'm like, what part of that makes any sense? With champagne tipping over in the sky.
Here's another fun Oasis fact. When I saw Noel Gallagher open for U2 on the Joshua Tree thing, Noel Gallagher came back out at the end of the show, and he and them, U2 did Don't Look Back in Anger together.
Good.
And the entire stadium sang along. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If Noel Gallagher ran for King or whatever they have premier, whatever that is over there,
he's from Scotland, am I right?
He would win immediately.
He's from Scotland?
England, I think.
Okay, same
England,
thing.
Yeah. I think he would win. Like, it would be a landslide. There would be election fraud accusations because people would say, like, literally nobody voted for the other guy. Nobody voted for Nigel. Everyone voted for Noel.
Nigel.
Nobody.
So now, wait. The band, it's Noel Gallagher and his brother Jimmy Gallagher?
No. Oasis was Noel Gallagher and Liam Gallagher.
And
brothers.
Liam,
And so they split up because they almost killed each other multiple times. Hate each other.
Yeah.
And Noel Gallagher started Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, which, and I'll quote Bess when I told her the name of his band, she said,
It's almost as bad as the name as Chickenfoot, the Sammy Hagar band.
And then Liam Gallagher started his own band called Beady Little Eye. And then Bess's reaction to that name was, I guess High Flying Birds isn't that bad.
Now, which one was lead singer of Oasis?
Liam. But they both sang.
Okay.
So all the talent. And I know there's going to be a lot of Liam Gallagher fans in our group out
flooded.
there.
We're going to get hate mail at the wazoo.
Noel pretty much wrote all the songs. Okay. Now, back off, Oasis fans. I know Liam Gallagher wrote Little Jimmy. Okay? I get that. Or Little James, whatever the hell the name of that song is.
Sure.
But Noel Gallagher wrote everything else, did all the rest of the music. That's why when you listen to Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds albums, you think, that sounds like an Oasis album.
Yeah. So Noel sang most of the hits?
No.
Liam sang most of the hits.
Liam sang most of the hits. So Don't Look Back in Anger was sang by Noel. Wonderwall was sang by Liam.
Okay.
Champagne Supernova was sang by Liam.
Okay.
Roll With It was sang by Liam.
Okay. So which one of them backed out of the MTV Unplugged? Liam.
Yeah.
And he sat there in the crowd clapping like an asshole, watching his brother take the stage. He's like, okay, I guess we're just going to do this.
Yeah.
Because I remember I never had more respect for a band than I did. I was like, I'm really starting to like this because the lead singer's being and the other guy's like, okay, you know what? I'll do the show without him because I loved the show. I thought this is pretty good. Why do you even need the other guy? Yeah.
Well, they're both kind of jerks.
Yeah.
So there's different bands, and we've talked about this before. There's some bands where if I meet them and they're a jerk to me, then I'll quit listening to them. I'll be like, I don't need that in my life.
Right.
There's other bands where if they're not a jerk to me, I'll quit listening to them because I expect you guys to be a jerk.
Right.
I expect Liam Gallagher, if I met him, to just stare at me and walk away.
Like, what am I supposed to do?
And if I try to
why would I want to even talk to you?
I would think he would punch me. And I'd be one of the guys like, he
hit me.
Yeah.
Hey, Ma, he hit me. They once went on tour with the Black Crowes, the Brotherly Love Tour, because the two guys, Jake and Billy Black Crow, hated each other also.
Jake and Billy Black Crow.
I don't know their names, On this episode...
Oh, yes.
What are we going to talk about, Mike?
We are going to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, people may not know,
right?
He's a character in Star Wars.
He is a character in Star Wars.
And he has his own, what is it, a 6-part miniseries?
I think it's 6 parts.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that.
I'm going to talk about stupid people who don't know anything about the Eagles, who claim that they know about the Eagles. And you'll understand what I mean when we get to it.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you at what juncture in their lives they're going to be put in a situation where they're judged for not knowing stuff about the Eagles. I'm going to ask you that question.
Okay.
Right. Hey, Winnie the Pooh is going to be an R-rated slasher flick.
Way to go, Disney, letting that go.
Yeah.
And the one other thing we're going to talk about is I have a real gem that I was talking about on Facebook, and it was described as possibly one of the greatest stories ever told about dealing with a difficult client.
Okay.
Yeah. Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Before we start, I was on the Twitter today. Oh, by the way, we record this show in advance.
Yes.
And we're actually, this particular night, the episode that we're recording is going to drop about 3 weeks, possibly 4 weeks after we've recorded.
It's on the 21st.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this right now, it's June 21st.
Yes.
Unless it's not, unless you downloaded it later.
Unless you downloaded it later. I was on Twitter today and I saw one of the things trending and it blew my mind. Mice are terrified of bananas and here's why. Does anybody care?
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
A couple of months ago, you and I were talking about the planet that used to be Pluto and all the millions and possibly billions of dollars that was spent and them deciding that it's no longer going to be a planet and everything else. Well, I've got the same gripe with this. Scientists spent just hours, weeks, months, possibly years studying why mice are terrified of bananas.
Yeah.
And it's like, who gives a flying?
Well, Del Monte, man. Is that or Chiquita?
Chiquita, the
man.
Chiquita banana.
Yeah,
They don't want to lose the mouse audience.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Think of how many bananas Disney could bring in if Mickey Mouse just wasn't terrified of those things.
Yeah. Apparently, the smell in the banana sets off a pheromone that triggers that the mice think comes from one of the female mice, and that gets them anxious or irritated. Can't imagine a female making you irritated or agitated.
Okay.
But I'm like, that's why. And I'm like, well, thank God we know that.
See, I would have thought that it's because what eats bananas? What's always hanging around bananas? Which is the reason I'm not a banana farmer.
Monkeys?
Tarantulas.
Okay.
You ever watched them? They're like tarantulas in those things, and they take them down. And the people that are taking them down off the trees or whatever, they don't seem to care.
They have to watch out for
They're
the
just
tarantulas.
like, and they got like tarantulas jumping and falling and crawling around.
Really?
And it was on a show I saw.
Okay.
Arachnophobia.
Yeah.
I thought maybe tarantulas, I think they eat mice, don't they?
Sure.
The big ones.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe a mouse would smell bananas and think that's tarantula
Maybe
breath.
a mouse sees a banana and says, oh, is there a tarantula in there?
Maybe a mouse sees a banana and says, that's as big as a sperm whale's tooth.
Helen, run!
You know they sleep vertically.
They do, yes, with one eye open to keep eye out for predators.
Open. That is terrifying.
But now,
floating in the sea.
Scientists have found out why mice are afraid of bananas. If you're a scientist, I want you to find out why cats are afraid of cucumbers and get back to me. Send us an email, a letter, send us a message, call us, whatever. Go to irritabledadsyndrome.com and let us know why cats are afraid of cucumbers. I don't want you to do anything about it because watching videos of cats being afraid of cucumbers is hysterical. But I do want to know why.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by International Delight Almond Joy Flavored Coffee Creamer. I'm Dave Lay, and I love coffee. I used to drink it black, but I was a different man back then. I was reckless and on a dangerous path to destruction. International Delight Almond Joy Flavored Coffee Creamer helped turn my life around. Listen to what other satisfied customers have to say about International Delight Almond Joy Flavored Coffee Creamer.
Hi, this is Darin, and I love International Delight Almond Joy Flavored Coffee Creamer. And if I'm at a restaurant that doesn't serve International Delight Almond Joy Flavored Coffee Creamer, I say screw it, and I go get my coffee somewhere else.
Hey, I'm Mike. When did we start doing our own commercials? It's like Inception? like a thing inside a thing. But, all right, yeah. International Delight Almond Joy Flavored Coffee Creamer is the bomb.
International Delight Almond Joy Flavored Coffee Creamer. Available wherever quality coffee creamer is sold. Now, back to the show.
Did you see Top Gun Maverick?
We have tickets for tomorrow.
Okay.
I've heard that's basically the first movie.
It is exactly the first movie, but better.
Okay.
Because a few months ago, we watched Top Gun on the Netflix.
Yeah.
And we watched it with the boys, and Libby and I kept looking back and forth at each other. We forgot how cheese-tastic it was.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, my dick's bigger than yours. Hey, woo, look, I can take off my shirt. Woo.
Yeah.
I'm oily and I'm a man. Okay. Yeah. That was Top Gun. With a lot of planes. Okay. It's just, Top Gun Maverick is good. It opens up with Danger Zone. Okay.
Does it really?
Yes. The plane flying in, and then them putting the thing on the tires, them closing the hood, them
I love that
tightening
stuff.
a ratchet, tightening a nut.
Yeah.
The dude with the flags, and then the sun coming down on the aircraft carrier. It's Top Gun.
Okay.
It totally is.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Connelly takes the place of Kelly McGillis. And then there's the scene of them on a motorcycle. And the only thing missing that wasn't in the original, I kept waiting for them to play Take My Breath Away by Berlin. And they didn't.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doom, doom, boom, doom,
Yeah.
doom. Yeah.
Well, that would be a good, because we're taking the kids. I would tell Bess, this is a good moment. We need to get out of here because you're going to see Tom Cruise slobbering on somebody.
Yeah. Cruise is great. Okay.
Yeah. I wish he wasn't crazy.
I know.
I saw a video.
Because he's a national treasure.
I saw a video of him and Oprah watching a rap, like a R&B, like something. And they were like tearing into all kinds of stuff, like going crazy. And he was like right in front of Oprah, and Oprah has this shocked look on her face. And Tom Cruise is right next to her. It must have been in the Mission Impossible 2 days because he had the long hair.
Yeah.
And he's just laughing. He's just grinning.
Yeah.
His Tom Cruise single tooth grin.
Yeah.
And
single tooth.
You haven't seen that? The picture of Tom Cruise's teeth? Oh, let's put Tom Cruise's tooth on the pause table. I'll come back to it.
Okay, welcome back.
But he's grinning, his Tom Cruise grin, and Oprah looks over, and she just can't help. Two people. If you're in a room with Oprah and she starts laughing, you're going to start laughing.
Right.
She's one of those people that's like infectious. If you see her smile, you start smiling.
If you don't laugh at her, her goons will come and beat you up.
I think Tom Cruise is the same. Like when he grins and starts laughing, I just start laughing. I don't know, the Letterman show, when he was a guest on Letterman, talking about how they turned the oxygen off to the guy in the back of the plane. Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
And he could not stop laughing. I was laughing all the way through. I didn't know what was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
The two of them laughing together, it's hysterical.
Yeah.
I don't know what's so funny. I don't know what they're laughing at. Tom Cruise is single tooth. Mm-hmm. Somebody found this out on the interwebs years ago. If you take a head-on shot of Tom Cruise's face when he's grinning, he's got a tooth dead center of his face, straight down. You see how I have a gap and tooth go here and teeth go there? He's got one tooth in the middle.
He does not.
He does.
I'll have to check that out.
Once you see it, you cannot not see it. Yeah. And after you see it, every time he smiles, you'll look for it.
We got a message from Scott Enos that says, try being a retired naval officer and watching it. I bet the inaccuracies are through the roof.
And Steve Farrell in there with Hot Shots. I did see Hot Shots Part D in the theater, and I remember laughing myself. Silly.
Now, and speaking of that, we'll go off topic for a second. My wife is a nurse, and it drives her absolutely crazy when you watch medical dramas. Mm-hmm. And because basically nobody knows how to do CPR in any of these TV shows. And did you ever watch Lost?
Yeah.
Okay, we watched
all
Lost.
of Lost.
Yeah, there was an episode of Lost where one guy starts giving CPR to somebody on a raft in the middle of the ocean. You can't do CPR on a raft in the ocean.
Yeah.
You just can't. And she's like, "Oh, come on." And that's where she lost it. With Lost. The smoke monster didn't really bother her.
Yeah.
The fact that, the kid was 12 here and then he's like 45 when he comes back, that didn't bother her.
Yeah.
The locker combination, whatever. CPR, this is not real. This is totally not real.
So I'm going to talk about John Wick briefly.
Okay.
So one of the reasons why John Wick is so beloved is because Keanu Reeves goes through tactical training and takes it very, very seriously.
I like Keanu Reeves.
I watched, there's a video of a tactical guy, an expert, and I know that because the video said that he's an expert. And he talks about all the cool things that Keanu Reeves is doing, but not calling attention to that are, quote, correct. If you're going to go into a nightclub with a single pistol and kill everyone in there, this is how you tactically do it correctly.
You always go left to right.
Yeah, so the only thing,
unless you're below the equator, then it's right to left.
Me as an idiot, I'm just amazed that he's counting the shots and he's reloading and he goes through the whole reload thing and does it all. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And then this tactical thing is like, you notice how he angles his hand this way. He's doing that because it's a modified barrel, something.
Sure.
And I'm going through all that and I'm thinking, this is the most realistic movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
They're going to... Meanwhile, he's getting kicked through 19 plate glass windows in the same nightclub scene that I'm talking about. He falls down, I think, 15 feet onto a wood and plaster dance floor onto his back.
Yeah.
He groans.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, he grabs it and
smart.
Gets up.
I hate when that happens.
You see the behind the scenes. They actually had a stuntman fall onto a pad, and then they had Keanu Reeves fall like 2 feet, which still, I mean, he's really groaning from some pain there.
Yeah, so, I could fall 6 inches and groan.
So I'm the mansplainer sitting there watching that with whoever's watching it with me, saying, you'll notice that there's 9 bullets in that type of pistol, and he fires exactly 9 bullets, and the 9th one, you see it go out, and the clip goes out, and he loads it, and then the person's listening go, okay, yeah, I think he threw a knife through a concrete wall.
That went
through 2 other people
before it went into that guy's neck.
Before it went into the guy's neck.
He threw it that hard because he's John Wick.
I love John Wick so much.
I know you do.
This portion of our show is brought to you by the Pontiac Vibe. It has more power than Focus or Neon. And now it's performance season at your local Pontiac dealer. Have you got the vibe? Pontiac excitement, most abundant. Now back to the show.
So what did you think about Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Dude, okay, the recap at the beginning, I loved it. I almost shed a tear. And I know this is going to be hard for you.
Okay.
I know, and I'm proud of you. Darin, I'm proud of you.
Why?
You're soldiering through this.
I am.
I know you like the prequels about as much as I like open heart surgery without anesthesia.
Yes. That's an accurate statement.
Yeah. So I really do. I'm appreciative. I love the frickin' recap. I love the tone of the first episode.
Okay.
Side note, Ewan McGregor, did he have something done to him? Is it Ewan or Ewan?
Ewan?
Is it Ewan?
Ewan. Hey, Ewan McGregor. Ewan.
Okay. It's what is it?
Now I think it is.
Okay, all right. It's linguistics, Larry. What is it?
It's Ewan. Yeah.
Ewan.
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan.
Okay. All right.
Ewan. Ewan McGregor.
Darin, you can edit all that out.
Gotcha.
Ewan McGregor, they've done something to him. He looks like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, he is a beautiful man.
Alec Guinness?
Sir Alec Guinness.
Sir Alec Guinness. See, like he sounds like, he talks like him.
He does talk like him, but I don't think he looks like him.
Very close.
Okay.
He's got a beard. And wrinkles.
Okay, to throw back real quick to Top Gun, Miles Teller plays Goose's son in Top Gun Maverick.
Looks just like Anthony Edwards.
He looks exactly like he would be Anthony Edwards' kid. Yeah. Crazy. Okay, back to Alec
Did they have the bald guy pissed off about buzzing the tower?
There was
my favorite guy.
Yeah, there's somebody pissed about the tower, but he wasn't in that one. Yeah.
All right.
That was Tom Skerritt.
Him, and then the other guy that has hair with the sunglasses that's holding the coffee, and he goes, and it shakes. Damn it. That guy, too. That's my 2 favorite people in Top Gun.
Yeah, okay.
The tone, the feel of the first episode, I think they just nailed it.
Okay.
I like the fact that you see Luke, you don't hear him. Now, let's talk about Leia. I love the actress, the way she acts, because I know they're going for that. Is the word precocious? And I hate that word. That's the word.
She is very penultimate.
She's very penultimate.
Opaque.
Penultimate and opaque. What I don't like is in the second episode, spoiler for, if you're listening to this podcast, you've already seen both of these episodes twice.
I think you've already finished the series. This drops by the time episode 5 comes on,
When she's running through the crowd, that annoyed me.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, okay.
I wanted her to get captured again. I wanted her to be tortured.
Yeah.
And I wanted her to almost die.
See, that's terrible.
It is terrible.
I've chased kids. I have 2 kids. Charlie, we just let him go. You can't catch him.
No.
If he ever figures out that he can just go wherever he wants, whenever he wants, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, a kid running like her, I can barely walk right now. I would have snatched her up within 3 seconds. Just grab, boom.
I know.
Grab the bun. Does she have the buns yet? I would have grabbed. I can't remember.
Just grab her by the buns.
That's what she said.
Back and say, where the hell do you think you're going?
Yeah. Girl. Damn, girl, get back here.
You're not a princess yet.
Yeah.
Sit down here.
Sit your ass down.
Yeah, sit your ass down. But Kenobi, I guess he never had kids, so he's in shock that she's running away, and I'm in shock that he can't catch her because
what happened?
She's just.
Hey, what happened?
It looks like she's shuffling through the thing like a zombie. It looks to me like a zombie going through the thing. She's going so slow.
Yeah, I know.
That bothers me. I think I would have taken out the action scenes. Flea took me out of it. Took me right the hell out of it. In the same way that
he was like, "Hey, should we stop this guy? Should we kill this guy? What do you think we should do?" Yeah. I love Flea. Okay, I love Flea.
I love Flea.
Man, Flea, he cannot act.
Flea was in The Big Lebowski as one of the German members of Autobahn that were going to cut off Jeff Lebowski's Johnson, and it worked because he just had to be a weirdo.
Yeah.
When he's trying to act in this thing, it didn't. First of all, he's not dressed like anybody else. I kept thinking, what is that, an AC/DC shirt with a jacket?
Let me tell you.
What are you wearing?
I'll put it in comparison. Bill Burr was 100 times better in Mandalorian than Flea was in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, because Bill Burr had the thing of like immediately like, is that Bill Burr? That's Bill Burr. And then
so what? You going to use the Force or something? Huh? What are you going to do there? Huh? You going to cut it off? What are you going to do?
We get it.
Okay, Stop acting like you're all special with your lightsabers and all. Yeah. We know it's a big flashlight. Okay,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, Billy, it's with your Force. I get it.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
I didn't love it, and I was
The first episode,
I'll finish it. I think it was still maybe a little better than Boba Fett.
I haven't seen the Boba Fett.
Okay,
thing.
What? Okay,
yeah, I haven't watched.
Spoiler alert.
Okay,
Boba Fett to me started out. I had a hard time following Boba Fett. Like, why are we making this guy into a hero when he tried to kill Han Solo? He tried to kill Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Okay, why are we turning him into a hero?
Yeah.
About 4 episodes into it, Mandalorian shows up. Okay, then it got good.
Okay,
but it got good because Mandalorian's in it.
Yeah,
Mandalorian could do no wrong.
First episode, I loved it. I felt like the second episode. I mean, they got to get him off of Tatooine, I guess. I don't know why.
Yeah,
they got to have some kind of space adventure. I got vibes of, well, this is the Mandalorian with Kenobi and the little girl.
Yeah,
that's what this is.
Exactly. Mandalorian's got Baby Yoda. It is. It really is. It's no stretch. And, the acting in Obi-Wan, sorry, they're not going to win any Screen Actors Guild Award for Best Ensemble Cast.
No,
it ain't happening.
Huey McGregor is pretty good.
This is the official review I gave. Ewan McGregor was the only person who knows how to act in this series, which makes it perfect because he was the only person who knew how to act in the prequels.
I would say him and the big boss guy at the place that he's working that shoves the old guy. Mm-hmm. And then ask Huey McGregor if he's got a problem or if he's going to say something. That guy was pretty good. he was pretty good.
He was better than Watto, I'll tell you that. And I kept waiting for Obi-Wan to get arrested for stealing food, for stealing brick meat.
If you want to instill terror in someone with a character, you make him a hillbilly.
Yes.
Okay, that's why Deliverance was so popular.
Yep.
That's why that worked.
You got a pretty mouth.
And this guy, a hillbilly in space, out in the middle of nowhere.
Hillbillies
carving
in space!
Off, what are they, carving off Krabby Patties off of a fish? Is that what that is?
Well, that was a gun meat. Was it gun? You could rip the ears off a gun?
It's one thing to have these like high britches British guys on the Death Star saying, we shall shoot you with the space laser. Yeah. It's another thing to have Roy McRoyals over here at the Krabby Patty factory going, you got something to say? That's a whole different animal. That goes primal. You're from Tennessee. You know what I'm talking about.
It's like in Force Awakens. He's like, half a token. Half it, blah, blah, in the big,
yeah. Give him a redneck accent. Throw some Billy Ray Cyrus on in the background. Knocks that terror thing up.
Just play Rhinestone Cowboy in the background. You're good to go.
Irritable Dad Syndrome is proud to be associated with Newsly, the all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android. For the first time ever, the entire internet becomes listenable, all in one place. You can find trending podcasts from over 80 countries and digital radio as well. So stop scrolling and start listening. Download Newsly now. Just go to www.newsly.me and use this promo code. The number 1, RR, another number 1, then the letters TABLEDAD, and receive a free 1-month premium subscription.
On this podcast, Mike and I are notorious for telling stories and leaving out the very, very funniest parts of the stories.
On this comedy podcast.
I think it was 2 or 3 episodes ago I mentioned one of my band directors, Vincent Dial, who passed away. And I told the story about how great he was and how he played in the NFL. And he was a giant. I mean, he had giant arms and he was just a beast, and he could lift tubas with his pinky. And the guy, oh my God, he was huge. I forgot to tell the story at band camp. At the end of the week, there was a performance for the parents, okay? And for whatever reason, it was over 30 years ago, I can't remember why, none of the drummers showed up at this performance. And Mr. Dial was looking around like, where is everybody?
Yeah.
And so he's like, screw it. And he takes one of the snare drums, and the snare drums have a harness that goes over the shoulders. Okay, it's a giant plastic harness. It may be bulletproof. His shoulder muscles are so big. This harness,
he wouldn't fit.
No, it goes over his head, and it sits on top of his shoulders, right on top. It does not go over. It sits on top. And I mentioned that I played cymbals, so I would crash, and then when the snares needed, I would turn the cymbals sideways, and they would play them like a hi-hat.
Yeah.
So I'm marching backwards with Mr. Dial, former NFL linebacker, playing hi-hat, and he is hitting these cymbals so hard. I can barely hold them up, and I'm marching backwards, just like hanging off from my life, and he is just, normally any other snare drum would he's going just tearing it up.
Yeah.
And I could not hold these cymbals up, and I'm just finally was like, you're killing me. He can't hear me over the snare drum. And he's just playing as hard as he could possibly play. And so Mr. Stites, our band director, when he heard about Mr. Dial passing away, he mentioned this story, and he said this is one of his favorite memories of him. I'm like, I was there. So I'm sorry I forgot to tell the funniest story about Mr. Dial, but there you go.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Tab. I think I'll have one right now. Now, back to the studio.
Okay, so you told me this.
Yeah.
I'm going to be talking about this. You told me this. Winnie the Pooh is apparently a hardcore slasher film.
Yeah,
right?
They're turning Winnie the Pooh into an R-rated horror slasher film.
Okay.
Because apparently Disney let the copyright lapse or whatever reason, so they no longer own the rights to almost. I think they own the rights to the characters, but they don't own the rights to the story. I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm like, oh my God, seriously? Winnie the Pooh is Tigger, hoo, boing, boing, slash,
Well, Tigger's got to go.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Eeyore's going to be the mastermind behind it all.
I guess we'll just go kill somebody else.
Yeah. Piglet will be the one they kill right before the first 10 minutes, and then the title comes up, Pooh.
Yeah. Blood dripping off.
And then you say Winnie the Pooh, and then it'll cross out Pooh and right, and then the movie starts.
No, what's probably going to happen is Pooh's going to get stuck in the honey hole.
That's what she said.
We're already R-rated.
You know how Pooh tries to get into his house? He's eating too much honey. He gets stuck halfway.
In the honey hole.
Yeah, he gets stuck in the honey hole. What they're going to do is he's going to get stuck. They'll just cut him off halfway.
Wow. Oh, man.
This podcast has taken a turn for the worst. Why did I put this on the rundown?
The only movie that I ever started reading a book during was the Winnie the Pooh movie.
Oh, really? Which one? The Tigger movie?
Whatever one.
They made a bunch of them.
It was one that was critically acclaimed. It came out when Andrew was like a little kid.
Okay.
And I was excited. Let's take him to the movies. George. It was like this weird thing. There was like a commercial for it where like George Clooney I don't know, he was in it. He was talking about it.
Yeah.
Like, this is the most amazing rendition of Winnie the Pooh I've ever seen in my life. And then they have like Winona Judd and Gilbert Gottfried. All these different people are talking about how wonderful it is.
What
it's
are you
the most
talking
amazing
about?
Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. And it was semi-live action, but not really. It was CGI, but it was like
Ewan McGregor's in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody, it was like this big deal.
That movie wasn't that bad.
It was terrible. I had a Kindle. I had just gotten a Kindle.
Ewan McGregor played Christopher Robin.
I opened up a book. I opened up a Kindle, and I didn't care if the light. I had a whole thing ready to say to the people if they were going to kick me out. Mm-hmm. Like, sir, you can't have a book open and a Kindle open and the thing. I'd be like, nobody's watching this.
Right. This is
Look
America.
At it. He's watching it, but he's a kid. Yeah. You can't trust him.
We're getting reports that Tigger is still under copyright.
Oh.
Yeah, from Steve Farrell. Thank you, Steve.
Okay.
He's our reliable source, apparently.
Check, 321. This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Whoppers all-beef foot-long hot dogs. Whoppers are packed full of flavor and guaranteed to be a hit at your next tailgate party. Get a ruler and measure it yourself. If your hot dog isn't a foot long, we'll refund your money guaranteed. So what are you waiting for? Get a family pack of Whoppers today. You'll be glad you did. Now back to Mike and Larry.
I have a problem with people who claim that they know things about the group, the Eagles, but they don't. Okay.
So when are you ever in a situation where people claim they know something about the Eagles?
You mentioned last time that we recorded an episode that the Eagles did the theme song from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And as I was driving back, it reminded me of three things. One, when the Big Lebowski says, "I told you, man, I can't stand the Eagles," and he kicked him out.
Yeah. Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah.
Then I remember many, many years ago, I was remember when you used to have to go to a store or wait in line to buy concert tickets?
Uh-huh.
When I lived in Johnson City, there was a place called Katz Records. God, I loved going to Katz Records. Okay, they had everything you could possibly want at Katz Records.
Uh-huh.
So I'm standing in line to buy a CD at Katz Records, and this guy was in line in front of me. And the Eagles were going on their Hell Freezes Over tour.
Uh-huh.
And he was bitching, saying, I don't know why anybody's going to see this show. Randy Meisner sang all of the Eagles hits, and he's not in the band anymore.
Who the hell's Randy Meisner?
And it pissed me off, but I didn't get involved with it. I didn't do like you did with the dude at the U2 thing talking about Octung Baby. Randy Meisner wrote Take It to the Limit. And he sang Take It to the Limit. And this guy says, Randy Meisner sang all their hits. No, Randy Meisner didn't sing all their hits. The biggest group of hits were sung by either Don Henley or Glenn Frey. Okay, then you have Timothy B. Schmidt, who did I Can't Tell You Why. And then much later on, did Love Will Keep Us Alive.
Okay.
And once Joe Walsh joined the band, he sang a handful of Eagles songs. But whenever they would tour, he would do a lot of Joe Walsh solo songs.
Okay.
So this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
Okay.
And he needs to just shut up and go home. Okay. And stop acting like he knows anything about the Eagles.
Yeah.
Now, flash forward 30 some years.
Okay.
The Eagles are going on tour again.
Yeah.
Okay. Glenn Frey passed away.
Now?
This was last year. This was last year.
Okay.
The Eagles are on tour again, or were on tour, and Glenn Frey passed away a handful of years ago. His son, Deacon, is touring with them, along with Vince Gill. Not Vince Gilligan, Vince Gill. Vince Gilligan is somebody completely different.
He is.
Right. So this woman on the Facebook jumps in, bitching about how, why is anybody going to see the Eagles when Don Henley is the only original member left?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like everyone else is a bunch of posers. Joe Walsh and Timothy B. Schmidt have both been in the group over 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted to just smack her and say, how long does somebody need to be in a group before you consider them a member of the band? It's like, does she not consider Neil Peart to be an original or a member of Rush?
He's the new guy.
He's still the new guy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care about.
I know
the Eagles.
you don't like the Eagles.
It's not that I don't like them. I'm indifferent to them.
Yeah, I don't understand how somebody cannot like the Eagles.
Name a good Eagles song.
Life in the Fast Lane, Desperado.
It's okay. Desperado's okay. I like the word Desperado, I think, more than the song.
Heartache Tonight.
I don't
Love Will Keep Us Alive.
No.
Yeah.
I like Hotel California, but that's like everybody says that one.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like somebody saying, I love Pink Floyd. They led that Wish You Were Here, and that's the only thing they know.
Yeah, Take It Easy is another great.
How does that go?
I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind.
Take
4 that want to hold me, 2 that want to steal me. 1, well, she's a friend of mine. Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels.
Our viewers just went down to 0. Oh man! Oh, are they? Is
this our last episode?
Are they a rock band? Or are they?
They're a rock band.
They're not considered a country.
They're considered crossover because they're a rock and roll band, but they had a boatload of country influences.
Kind of like Kid Rock.
Okay. Yeah.
Kid Rock is the new Eagles, is what you're saying. Is what you're saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying. But I will go as far as to say I doubt Kid Rock would have tried doing anything he did within the country music platform had it not been for the Eagles.
Okay.
I believe the Eagles were the first major, just like incredibly successful crossover band. Yeah.
When did country music start using the film crew from the Lifetime Channel movies to do their videos?
I don't know.
As opposed to normal.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't remember the girl's name, female country music artist. But there's some song about her and a guy that she liked, and then they go out to the lake and swim in the pond, and then they kiss and something else.
Because I like Johnny Cash, like Hank Williams Jr.
Okay.
Hank Williams.
I love Hank Williams.
Willie Nelson.
I'm a ginormous fan of Johnny Cash.
These are all people.
Yeah, they are all people.
But the newer country people, and by new I mean from the 90s on, because that's, they all look like if they saw a horse, they would go, ew. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Or they would be walking through.
My fingernails is dirty.
Yeah. So if you're, make them walk through a cow pasture. Okay. First thing is, all of these newer country people would be like stepping gingerly through the thing, making sure careful where they step, and the whole time. And you know where the real country people would be? Back at the fence, because you don't walk through a cow pasture.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you do if you want to take a shortcut when you're hunting.
Yeah, they go around it.
Yeah, you cross over somebody's.
Yeah.
Or
land. They look when they spit.
Right.
They know where the cow patties are, and then they walk accordingly.
Have you ever stepped in cow?
No, but I've put a backpack on top of a cow before. Here's a story.
Okay.
Hey, what happened?
Now I'm intrigued. Finally, something that's exciting.
So, my buddies back in the old Proctorville, Ohio, every once in a while we would go camping. My friend Kevin had a house. Now it's all developed back there, but for a long time it was a bunch of cow pastures, and then it went up on a hill. We would go up on top of the hill and we'd camp. Okay, we're still like, if something happened, we'd be able to get back to his mom's house within like 20 minutes, but we were far enough away that we could like listen to Ozzy Osbourne or whatever the hell we wanted to up there, and it didn't matter. We listened to a lot of Ozzy Osbourne and the thing.
Everybody did.
Yeah. So
was that like the ultimate sin?
I had a problem. No rest for the wicked.
Okay.
So I had a problem with making it places on time. It would take forever for me to get to a place on time. If you told me to meet you somewhere at 8, you would just know that I'd find my way there by 10 or something. I was, that's just how I was.
You're a 2-hour friend.
Yeah.
You have to tell them 2 hours earlier.
So you have to cross through this cow field to get up cow pasture, I guess, to get up there. And I get to the point where it's well into the night, and I'm going across 2 cow pastures to get up to the thing. And I get a little lost because where we had the fire, it was just over a little thing. You couldn't really see it. You kind of needed to know where it was.
Right.
And I stopped to look around, and I was next to a rock. I put my backpack on the rock. I start looking around, and I hear the rock get up, and I hear,
Well, it was about that time I got suspicious.
It wasn't a normal. If it was just a normal moo, that would still scare me until I pissed myself. It was more of an annoyed Booba. When Booba sleeps in bed with us, and we'll like, I have to move her over because she keeps getting right next to me
with her nose.
She
in
does
her
a thing where she just goes, This was that from a cow.
Okay.
And it was really pissed. And I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if it was going to lick me, headbutt me.
I don't think it's going to lick you.
Kick me, smack me with an udder. I don't know. I grabbed my backpack, and then when you're right next to a
he
cow,
smacked me with an udder, which would have been a he.
When you're right next to well, don't assume the gender. When you're right next to a very upset cow,
identifies as a female cow.
You just run, and I ran through the cow. Now I may have stepped in something then, but I don't remember having to wash anything off my foot.
And I'm going to tell you a story, and this is just between me and you. We're going to delete this. But I was a kid. I was scared to death of cows.
Yeah,
I was traumatized of cows, and my brother would make so much fun of me because I was afraid of cows.
Yeah.
But we would walk up from my house into the woods where we played all the time, and we'd always have to pass a cow pasture. And all these cows ever did was stare at you. But I was convinced that one was going to run, trample me, suck all the blood out of my body, and then trample me to death. And then grab my limp, dead body by the ankles and pull me back into its cave, and then just eat on my bones. Eat my bones.
Do weird cow sacrificial rituals.
Yes. Yeah. Every single cow was going to do those exact same things to me. Okay, we can go back to the podcast. Okay, welcome back.
That's how I feel about anything in the ocean, by the way.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Crystal Clear Party Ice. It's not a party without party ice. And it's not crystal clear party ice unless it's actually crystal clear. The way party ice is supposed to be. Have you been to a party where the ice was cloudy? How did that make you feel? Like a loser. Crystal Clear Party Ice is really clear. And it comes in a bag. Crystal Clear Party Ice, now available in Crystal Clear, Semi-Clear, and the all-new Opaque. Visit our website at www.partyice.com and find out how you can win $1 million worth of Crystal Clear Party Ice for your next party, wedding, or get-together. Ah, Party Ice. Back to you, Duck Lips.
I think it's unnatural for a man to have the goatee, the hair on his chin, and not a mustache.
Why would you do that?
I can't get used to that. I just can't get used to that. No matter how hard I try.
Yeah.
We were watching The Blind Side with Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
Good movie.
Okay.
Yeah, we watched it with
We
the
have
kids.
it. We've just never seen it.
Yeah, it was a really good movie. And one of the asshole teachers in the movie who didn't want to help the, what's-his-face, the football player, do better in school. He had a goatee but no mustache. And I just wanted to smack him.
Yeah.
Climb into the screen, and I'm like, dude, I'm going to smack you if you don't grow out that mustache.
That's one of the cool ways, if you're in film school, to make somebody automatically dislike a character, give them weird facial hair.
Yeah.
See,
or like Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
That patchy.
See, he kind of, I dig it.
No.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Is the this is the hardest thing to shave.
Right.
And I think of this, the mustache is the hardest part to shave.
Yeah.
So why would you leave the easy part of your face there?
Exactly. You're not Amish, and I don't want to...
Is that what that is?
Yeah, I don't want to offend any Amish people listening to the podcast.
You know
right
what
now.
I don't like even more?
So Jebediah, Ezekiel...
Well, we're going to offend everybody then.
Sorry.
The line beard things. Do you know those little things?
Yes.
I can't.
Yeah,
I
know.
I can't with that.
Prince did that. Yeah. It looked like he drew it on with a pencil.
Now, we ate... in. This relates, so back off.
Okay.
There's a pizza that I love called it's called Bessie's Revenge.
Okay.
Hey, what happened?
Booba is not a fan. There's a pizza that I love called Bessie's Revenge by the Screaming Sicilian.
Okay.
It's at Kroger.
Okay.
You go to the frozen pizza section.
Okay.
And I've been getting it for a couple of years now. I pepper it in every once in a while, a little variety.
Sure.
And I made one tonight. That's what I was eating when you came in.
Okay. Screaming Sicilian.
Yeah. Well, Bessie's Revenge.
Bessie's Revenge.
Yeah.
Okay.
And on the back, it has a huge mustache, presumably an Italian mustache.
Uh-huh.
And I can say that because Bess is Italian, so I can say Italian.
She's Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's punch out, and then you can stick part of it up your nose, and now you have that mustache. And I'm here to tell you, I look pretty good with a mustache. I'm just saying.
With just a mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I did the, you've seen Tombstone with Michael Biehn? Michael Biehn was the Johnny Ringo. So you had Doc Holliday.
Okay, that was Val Kilmer.
His big foil was Johnny Ringo.
No, wait a minute. Was Doc Holliday Val Kilmer?
Yeah.
I'm Neil Huckleberry. Okay. And then who was Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell was Wyatt Earp.
Wyatt Earp. Okay, thank you.
So Johnny Ringo was the one, the big scene with him and Val Kilmer was when they were in the bar and Johnny Ringo starts flipping the gun around like crazy and puts it down. And then Val Kilmer takes the whiskey cup and goes like making fun of him doing the same thing and puts it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, Johnny Ringo has a full mustache, and then this is all kind of unshaven, kind of how I have it now. If I had a big bushy
and stubble,
full screaming Sicilian mustache,
okay.
So I may grow a screaming Sicilian mustache. I mean, I gotta wax it.
You should do that on vacation.
Yeah,
and come back with a handlebar.
Yeah, I tell you, there's one thing that really is comfortable in the desert is a full beard. Let me tell you. That really goes a long way.
It keeps the sweat from dripping on your shirt.
It does.
Yeah. Another thing that I want people to just stop is we went to the pool the other day and a guy gets in the pool with a comb over from hell. I mean, it's 2022, okay? The people for decades now, since, I don't know, the 50s, have been trying to fool people with the comb over.
I told you I'm doing that. Did I tell you I'm doing that?
You said, yeah, but
when I retire.
I know you're not really going to.
I'm going to do it.
I know you're not.
I'm going to flop a comb over.
Yeah, I'm convinced that you're not. I know you won't. Even if you decided to, I know Bess wouldn't let you, and Andrew wouldn't let you. But come on, man.
Yeah.
My buddy Chad and I both decided in our mid-20s, we made a pact, like a blood brother pact, that we would never have a comb over. That when it got to the point where it was getting really bad, we wouldn't do the Rogaine. We wouldn't, constantly. Now I've talked about why I wear a hat because it keeps my head warmer. It keeps me from getting sunburned.
Yeah.
I don't wear a hat because I'm bald and I'm ashamed of it. I'm not. And so we always said that when it comes down to it, we were just going to shave it. And we both shaved our heads.
Yeah.
So, dude, if you have a comb over, just shave your head, man.
Yeah.
There's no... It's not like you have a disease.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. No one's
Bruce
gonna...
Willis and Vin Diesel paved the way, man. They made it cool.
Yeah. No one is going to look at you and say, I can't believe you've got a shaved head.
You.
It's badass shaving your head.
Yeah.
People look at me and I have more respect with a shaved head than I ever have in the rest of my life.
People don't, when they see this stream, they're looking at it thinking, man, they must be talking about guns and knives and just everything. And
kicking ass and taking names
they start listening
all day long.
And it's like, whatever.
This portion of our show is brought to you by Blockbuster Video.
My wife has started listening to the podcast, and she's been throwing her opinions in.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I can't believe that you were talking about the baskets when we only have 2 baskets in the house. And why didn't you tell Mike about the time I did this? And you forgot to mention this part, and you forgot to do this.
So you
and then she says, I think that, because she thinks that your wife and my wife should have a segment, a rebuttal on our podcast.
Well,
and I've told her, I said, look, anytime you want to have irritable wife syndrome, we will gladly promote your podcast. Yeah.
Start your own podcast.
Yeah. Do what we did. Yeah. And then before I left tonight, she says, are you going to make fun of me in the podcast? I'm like, if I feel like it. Yeah. Something that's really gotten up her nose is some of the songs that I've picked that, I think need to be retired. Okay. And she started.
What song did you say needed to be retired that annoyed her?
She kind of thought Jack and Diane was still a pretty good song.
Bess got upset about that too.
Yeah. But we're listening to music on Memorial Day.
Okay.
And Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight, comes on, and she goes, that song needs to be retired.
I was almost going to say that one today. I agree with Libby.
Oh, my God. You and
it's time to let it go.
No.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think so. Yeah.
In the Air Tonight. The reason is it's too long.
It's like 3.5 minutes long.
It's like 8 minutes long.
It's not 8 minutes long.
It feels like it's 8 minutes long.
It's worth it just for the drum solo
thing. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They should just have...
But I love the beginning of it. I love the cool keyboard part of it. And I love everything about the song still. I like the mix. I like the way his voice sounds in it. I like the mystery to it. I like the fact that people think that he saw somebody get killed. People think that he saw a body coming out of the hot lava.
I get all that. It's 5.5 minutes long.
Okay, that's what I said. 5.5 minutes long.
Yeah. Yeah. So the part that everybody likes is 4 seconds long.
Yeah.
I can feel, and then just okay. Yeah. And I saw him do this live. I was excited. It was his son drumming. I love the song. Let me put it this way.
Okay.
Schindler's List, I think, is a great movie.
Yeah.
I've seen it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I have too.
I don't know that I need to see it again.
Right.
It's a great movie, but I don't know that I need to keep seeing it over and over.
I bought it just to have it and because I know I'm going to want to view it again. And my favorite thing about Schindler's List is he made that movie and Jurassic Park almost simultaneously. Okay. While they were shooting Jurassic Park on the weekends, he was on the phone, with his producers and everybody else, setting things up, getting ready for Schindler's List.
Wow.
Okay. So he was prepping this Holocaust movie while he was shooting a dinosaur movie. Okay.
Wow.
Night and day different. Yeah. Then, while they were shooting the Holocaust movie on the weekends, he would go
Saving Private Ryan?
And and they were editing the dinosaur movie. Okay. So while he's making one movie, he's preparing for this. While he's shooting this, he's editing that. Jurassic Park that year became the #1 motion picture of all time. Okay. The best-selling motion picture ever. Okay.
Yeah.
And Schindler's List won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Motion Picture and Best Director of the Year. Who else has done that?
Yeah.
Okay. Steven Spielberg's like, drop the mic. I'm the man. He's like,
In the air tonight.
I have no idea what that's got to do with Phil Collins. And that wasn't even the song that I was going to pick this week.
Listen.
For the song that needs to be retired.
I love Phil Collins so much. I've read part of his biography. He's lived an amazing life. I was fortunate enough to see him. Saw him play this song. Thought it was entranced the entire time the song was going. So I love the song. It's just when it comes on the radio or something, it's like, okay, we all know where this goes.
Okay, our first one where
and it makes that episode of Miami Vice that it's in.
Yeah.
It makes that episode.
Yeah,
it took Miami Vice from, wait, this guy lives on a boat with an alligator.
Yeah,
and they danced on a thing and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, Phil Collins.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what is this song? It made Miami Vice be Miami Vice.
And I can't remember the name of the guys. They're brothers.
Buster Keaton.
No, they're brothers. The 2 guys. And they're in their early 20s.
Armie Hammer.
And stop saying names because it's 2 people.
Yeah.
But they may still have a YouTube series where they listen to songs for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they listen to In the Internet and they're like, okay, this is pretty good. And this is okay. This got a slow start. And it's got a pretty good vibe to it. And I kind of like the guitar.
Yeah.
Okay. What's he talking about? I don't know, but it's okay. Whatever. And they have no idea. Yeah. And then the drum solo comes up. Whoa! Oh my! Did you? And then how did they do that? 4 minutes into it, they totally buried the lead, and then that's what I think makes that song so badass.
It's a badass. It is a badass song. Not all the songs that need to be retired are bad songs. I don't want people to think that means they're bad songs.
Right. Well, that's what I said about Jack and Diane.
Sick of this shit.
Jack and Diane's a great song.
It's like, what was it, Wayne's World? They had a little sign in the guitar shop, and you're not allowed to play Stairway to Heaven.
No Stairway.
Yeah. It's a great song, but enough.
Well, are you happy, Libby? You got your way. All right, we're almost out of time, but something that I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, I'm on a group on the Facebook called Eyes of a Generation. And this group is full of...
That sounds very serious.
Yeah. Well, it's a much more serious name than it should have. Because it's a bunch of old guys who've worked in TV 30, 40, 50 years or more. Okay. Yeah. And they're always talking about 3/4-inch tape and back when TVs were black and white. And this show had this type of boom mic and this and that.
I remember back when Jan Michael Vincent was playing cellos to birds in the sky.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So somebody on Eyes of a Generation mentioned that he was editing a commercial for a client and they didn't like a certain shot. So he hit Control-Z and that shot went away and he accidentally put that shot back in. So the shot he took out, he inadvertently put back in and the client said, "I love it." Oh. He said, "Okay." So he moved on. And the whole conversation led into like, well, I had a client who wanted me to do this and this happened and this happened. And it reminded me of this story, which I was never really, I wouldn't say I wasn't allowed to tell, but I never told it because, I worked at a TV station. I no longer work at this TV station. So
give them hell. Give them hell.
I had this client who was extremely, and I mean extremely difficult. Every time I would shoot a shot of her, she would walk around and I would have to play it back for her. And then she's like, "Oh, no." And then she'd change her jacket. Yeah. She'd walk back and she would pose with her right, shoulder to the camera instead of her left shoulder. And I would do it again. And she'd check it out and do it again and check it out. And then why is the script like this? And why are we doing this? And I'm like, well, this is the script that was written and you approved before I came out here. Yeah. So then you're rewriting everything while you're there. Okay. And then we would shoot for that. And it's like I said, everything was extremely difficult. We got into the editing phase. Okay. Right? I edited a commercial and I emailed it to the client. Now she had a go-to guy. Okay. Some dump. I can't remember his name. I sent the commercial to him and he replies, "We can't hear the commercial."
Oh.
I'm like, well, that's a problem.
Yeah. That's not
and I
good.
normally never have people have this problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, well, that's weird. Let me send it to you in another format. Okay. So instead of a QuickTime file, I sent it as an MP4 and I sent it to him again. We still can't hear it. And I'm like, "Are you on a Mac or are you on a PC?" And he told me he was on a Mac. I'm like, well, this format should work with that. Yeah. Maybe it's something within the email. So I sent him a link where he could download it.
Yeah.
Still can't hear the commercial.
Okay.
And he's getting very frustrated at me because he can't hear the commercial.
Yeah.
And I'm telling him, there's audio on the spot. Yeah. Okay, I promise you there's audio on the spot because before I email spots out to people, I play them. Yeah, and if I can't hear it, I'm like, well, I can't send a commercial that doesn't have audio on it.
Yeah.
Finally, the salesperson in charge of the client, she says, "Darin, let's put it on my laptop and I'm going to run out and show them the commercial." Oh, and I forgot to mention the woman who's very difficult. The original thing that I shot for her, she said, "This commercial is it's just way too fast. It's way too fast. Okay, we've got to slow this down. It's way too fast." And we're also forgetting that we do this, and these two other things.
Okay.
So we need to slow it down and mention these 4 other things.
Okay.
Like, how are we going to slow it down and mention 4 other things? You have to speed up to include 4 other things.
Yeah.
You can't do that. But this wasn't a person who would take no for an answer. And she was just really... And Mike, I swear to God, it took everything I had to remain calm and cool and not lose my with her. Mm-hmm. We go out there with the laptop with the commercial on it and we play it. And they, okay, that looks pretty good. Can we do this and this and this? And I said, yeah, we can make those changes. Finally, I'm talking to the guy. I said, I'm still trying to figure out why your commercial, why you couldn't hear it. And I would love to, can I look at your computer and watch it and see if I can figure out from here? And he goes, well, I mean, yeah, you can, but our computers, they don't have any speakers.
What the hell did you just say?
Wow. Okay.
And I wanted to stand up and just grab him by the shirt collars and say, are you kidding me? They don't have any speakers.
Okay.
Let me say, they don't have any speakers.
Okay.
And he keeps telling me he can't hear the commercial. You know why?
Yeah.
because you don't have any speakers.
All right, you reminded me of a story. We may go a little long
That's
on this.
fine.
You may go a little.
That's fine.
So back in my college days at OU,
The OU,
I had a job with the techno group, the communication services group. So they were split up. They had the guy that did the work with Apples and Macintoshes. They had the guy that did the IBM, and they had another couple of people that did networking. It was a small group, but they handled all the IT stuff for the university.
Yeah.
So I got with the Apple guy. Great boss. One of my favorite bosses of all time. He was just the most laid back dude.
Yeah.
He would listen to we called him, a customer. We called all of them customers, even though they're like professors and stuff.
Sure.
We'd listen to what they're saying. Like, okay, all right. Yeah. And then he'd turn around under his breath and say, just turn that knob to the left. You'll blow their mind. And I'd do it. And he was like, So I have a little bit of bias here. I'm a PC guy.
Okay.
I can't stand Apple. I respect Apple. I love Apple. Most of our downloads are from Apple Podcasts. God bless you guys. You make the world go round, but enough. People who are into computers and PCs and stuff will probably understand. I think they'll be on my side on this. So the PC guy, he had a toolkit that he would take with him. Because I went out on calls with him every once in a while, just full of little screwdrivers and pliers and stuff. And then he had another case that had like 30 or 40 little 3.5-inch floppies. Remember those back when you had discs?
Yes.
They had like operating systems, he had like all the different versions of DOS, a couple of versions of Windows. He had a couple of CDs.
DOS.
I know. And so when I would go out with him on a call, if my boss were on vacation or something, we would be at wherever we were for like an hour. He would take it apart. He would mess with it. He would clean it, put it back together. Oh, you need to install this program, install that program. I noticed when I went out with my boss on normal days, we go to all the Apple calls.
Yeah.
And it was like, we wouldn't even, is this the computer that's giving a problem? Okay. Oh, the problem is you've still got it plugged in. We need to unplug it so we can take it back to the shop. We take it back to the shop. We had Apple manuals from Apple of every problem that you could possibly have. And after a couple of weeks, I was cracking up because they all led back to replace it. Replace the computer or replace this piece, which requires you to replace the computer. It'd be a little flow chart. Does this happen when you push this button? Yes. Replace. Does this happen? And you say no, it'd go down. Well, does this happen? Yes. Okay, then replace the computer. It would, so the part numbers. So most of the time when I was dealing with these Apple calls, it was enter in the part number, and I would let them know it'll be in a couple of weeks or it'll be in a month. But the PCs, we were actually fixing their problem. And the different school, after I was there for a couple of years, working a couple of days a week. I began to notice the different school departments. I got different calls. Never got any calls from the engineering group. All the years I was there, I got one call from the engineering building. I got a call every couple of days from the art buildings. Okay, and I got a couple of calls from education and a lot of calls from Scripps. It's the journalism place. They were always calling.
Okay.
The engineering building called, and it was one of my professors. And he said he already knew what the problem was. He was just kind of bored.
Right.
And he wanted to see what our time was. And he'd heard that I worked there, and he wanted to see if it was going to be me that came out. Right. So we just shot the shit for a while, and I fixed his computer, and we went on. The art department called every other day. Every other day, we were getting a call from the art department. And it was usually, there's a problem with this computer, but I had one professor that kept calling because the TV, when they're trying to show a video, was jumpy. Okay. And then my boss, Dave, would be like, he'd say, take the van, go out. We had a van. Go over there and see what you can do. I go over there and, I'm looking at all this stuff, and she turns on, and immediately I know what it is. It's the vertical hold. It was turned all the way to the right or the left.
Yeah.
So I center it. And she's like, wait. You've got it. You got it right there. What did you just do? I turn this vertical hold. What does that do? It holds the vertical
line. Yeah.
Here's the horizontal. Oh my God, it went weird. It went weird because I'm moving the horizontal to the side. Can you fix that? That's a new problem. Can you fix that back? It was okay before. Now you've broken it. Can you fix it? But yeah. And I'd get it back. She's like, okay, is it going to stay that way? Yes. What if I turn it off and then turn it back on? Will it stay there? Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God. How much does this cost?
$5,000.
No, it was $30. It was a $30 charge. We were $30 an hour, $30 to show up. I was like, it's gonna be $30. It'll be billed to the university. I'll just go back. I'll write a report that we fixed it. A couple days later, the screen is wiggly. I go back. It's the same professor. Oh, you're here again. It was working fine. And then the next day I came in and it's just messed up again. And I turn it back. Wait. What did you do? What did you do? It's vertical hold. I turned it. You didn't press it. It's not a button. It's not a button. It's a dial.
It's a dial.
It's a dial. I turned the dial.
I'm pushing this.
But I didn't press it. That's what I was doing. I was pressing it. No. And you don't pull it. No, I don't see you pulling it.
What?
She was very...
Why is she yelling at you?
She was very engaged in this conversation. No, I'm not pulling it or pressing it. It's a dial, and you have it... Today, you have it all the way to the left. The other day, you had it all the way to the right. It needs to start in the center and then adjust from there. And she starts writing this down. And so I'm patient with her because this is like the second time that I'm there. The next week, we get a call from the art department. Dave is just laughing. Go, take the van.
Okay.
Go. I was like, I need to take the van. I'm just going to walk over there. I walk over. It's squiggly again. And I pressed the button. I pressed it and nothing's happening.
Hey, what happened?
I wanted so bad, because you said you wanted to strangle that guy.
Yeah.
I wanted so bad to say, lady.
Well, hey, you were making money off this chick. I
was making money.
I did his production for free.
I was making money, but I wanted to say, lady, I have some very close friends that are in the art department. And they're very smart.
Okay.
And I love them dearly. They're some of my best friends. Dan was in the art department.
Yeah.
You are making the art department here look exceptionally bad. Because not only did I explain to you, this doesn't press in or out. It doesn't do that. The only action it has is rotating. And you wrote the directions down last time.
Yeah.
And you're still having problems.
You know what? I would love...
I got one more. I'm sorry. I got called back there 2 more times.
You changed the vertical hold 5 times. Oh, that's rich. I would love to... And maybe there is such a podcast that exists of the IT guys just talking about all the they've had to fix. Because now I will admit, there have been so many times where I have called the IT guy and he comes in, and as soon as he walks in the door, my computer is no longer doing what it was doing. But now there was one time where I couldn't get the keyboard to do anything, and the IT guy actually got stumped, completely stumped, and he just said, "I'll be right back." And he goes and he comes back and he gives me a new keyboard. I'm like, really? It was the whole keyboard? And he goes, that's what I'm calling it. And he gives me a whole keyboard. But I will tell you this.
Yeah.
I worked at 4 different TV stations. I worked at ETSU for a little bit. I worked freelance and at 2 different places. There have been, I think, 6 different occasions where an IT guy has looked at my computer and said, oh, I've never seen it do that before. Hand to God.
Yeah.
Every TV station and 2 freelance gigs, I have done something and they've never seen it before.
Wow.
I don't know why it follows me around, but it wasn't the vertical hold.
See, I'm a nerd. I'm a computer dork. I build our computers. I mean, not this one, but the one upstairs.
Yeah.
I build computers. I had this job for a few years, so I hate calling tech support because I feel like it's like I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
So I'm not an asshole, but I'm like, I did the thing. I did the turn off. Sir, did you really turn it off for 15 minutes and restart? Yes, I did Can you do it right now while you're on the phone? Yes, and it's happened before. I've been on the phone with them, and while we're waiting for it to restart, I'm like, I wouldn't be calling you if this was the problem. Yeah. And it comes back up, and sir, is it working? Yes, it's working.
I learned to speak Klingon just so I could have conversations with the IT department.
Waka
waka waka.
But I will tell you, be nice to your IT guy.
Oh my God, absolutely.
They deal with that kind of, the thing that I was dealing with, the vertical hold, it just put me in a mood for the rest of the day.
Yes.
You get very jaded. You just assume, you literally begin to assume everyone you interact with is an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you think that when you tell them to move the mouse up, they're going, lifting it off the table. Like, no.
But you know what? I will tell you, it's like a source of pride when you have the conversation and you tell them what it's doing, and then they look.
You stump them.
When they get stumped, and when they call the other IT guy. And when two come in there, and they're like, well, has it been doing? It's like, no. And they're like, ooh. And then they look at each other like, we need to call Batman. It's like, oh, man. Guys, I think we've ran over on this show.
Yep.
We've had a great week. It's been episode 95. Before we go, we want to remind you to please go to irritabledadsyndrome.com and sign up for our emails.
Yeah.
Go to our merch section. I'm certain that somebody's birthday is coming up. Buy them a Whompers All Beef Footlong Hot Dogs t-shirt. You'll be glad you did. And like I said, go to irritabledadsyndrome.com. All our previous episodes are on there. Oh, and what we've done over the past few weeks, if you've downloaded some episodes, you'll notice that there were some commercials in the shows that weren't by Dave Lay. We've turned those off.
Yeah. Because they began to annoy us.
Yeah, they did.
They screwed up the
They were ruining the flu and the flow of the show. The flu of the show. They were screwing things up, and I'm like, we're making a little bit of money off of it, but it's not worth it if it's going to screw up the flow of the show.
Nope.
So we turned those off, and if you downloaded a show that had those on there, you know what?
Just re-download it.
Re-download the show, and then you'll have a clean copy of it. And we did it because, we thought, we could make a little bit extra coin and we could put that into the show, but it wasn't worth it.
Yep.
It screwed up the show.
Yep, we're not going to screw up the show.
We're not. Anyway, we thank you for listening. We hope to see you next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. I hope the family of Casey Kasem doesn't sue me. I just read what they put in front of me. We'll see you next time.
What the hell happened? This is what happened when the rundown goes to hell.
We need to get this show back on track.
We do. I'm sorry that I agreed with your wife on that.
Like a blood brother.
A blood blether. Hey, we got a like from Steve Mann.
Oh, wow.
We got a little jumpy dinosaur.
Sorry about the sound effects that come in.
Yeah.
That's our adoring fans. My son is 17, and he started wearing chains on the back of his pants.
Okay.
Because it's cool.
Yeah.
And I've nicknamed him Snow Titers.
Saul Goodman never had a cat. Why? The cucumber water.
Wow.
Please cut that out.
Wow.
If you don't cut that out,